Hello, I am what you would refer to as a homosexual, and one of my favorite games is The Last of Us 2. Like, I love it so much. I love the story, I love the gameplay, I just love everything about it. And I also thoroughly enjoy the representation that I get within the game, given that we have bisexual woman of color who also is Jewish, we have Ellie who is a lesbian, we have Lev who is a trans boy, as well as like other forms of representation, being Abby, really strong, different body type. That makes me love the game even more. But with that representation comes so much like hate. So many people hate the game based on the identities within the game, which is stupid. Like, fair enough, you're allowed to have an opinion about the game based on its story and its choices, because not a lot of people enjoyed the direction it went in. However, if your criticism on a game solely focuses on characters' sexualities and identities, then that's not good criticism. You have an opinion, but your opinion sucks. Which is why I was delighted to see this humorously titled review. I assume it's a game review by Super Saiyan Paul. Saiyan, I don't know. Today, he is giving us The Last of Us 2, LGBTQ plus simulator, not zombie simulator. No, this video appears to be solely focusing on the sexualities within the game. So it's 25 minutes long, and I'm gonna blind react to it. I watched like the first 15 seconds and decided I needed to record my reaction to it, because this guy, and if this person sits here for 25 minutes and it turns out he's dedicated this entire video to the identities and sexualities within the game and slapped the word review in the title, that'll be very funny, because that's not a review. Let's commence this.
Yo, I'm just gonna go straight into it. The alphabet people.
You see, you know the opinion is going to be uneducated and immature when you're referred to as the alphabet people. I prefer the term alphabet mafia, I'll have you know.
The feminazis ruined this.
Okay, see, this is what I was talking about. There's a difference between the people criticizing the game and saying that the game's been ruined for them based on the story, and specifically, spoiler alerts, Joel's death. There's an uproar against Joel's death, and lots of people are labeling that as the defining point that ruined the game for them. That's fair enough. Of course, you're allowed to be upset and feel cheated out of the story you wanted based on a character's death. You know what doesn't ruin games? Identities. So to label the entire alphabet mafia and feminazis as ruining this game when there are so many other factors that make this game criticizable, it shows bigotry more than analysis and actual care for the game.
Take this with a grain of salt. This is gonna be one big hot take. This is the most unpolitically correct video that I've probably ever posted to the channel, but I don't give a fuck.
You see, I hate this. I hate when people will speak on identities and sexualities as if they're debates, as if they're political, as if they're taboos, because like, me wanting to kiss a girl has absolutely nothing to do with politics.
Besides what the media is telling you guys, I'm giving you guys my hot take on this dumpster fire of a game, the worst game I've ever played in my life. So here we go. This game.
I just hope your hot take doesn't involve bashing on a minority group.
And honestly, this was one of the strongest franchises. If you had mentioned this was a console seller, they killed the entire franchise. They killed the entire franchise with this LGBTQ plus what?
You know what game it is? An apocalyptic survival game that just so happens to have LGBT representation in. Anyway.
Whatever agenda, and it's not just an agenda, it is literally a simulation you are playing. It is not.
The gay agenda is to simply exist and manage to piss off homophobes. Just by existing.
Not even like, oh, we're just gonna throw it in for like 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there. Nah. Part of me, one.
What did he call it? He said agenda. What did he say? He said agenda. Okay, so first of all, he refers to it as an LGBT simulation. I don't know whether he knows the definition of a simulator. Games like Surgeon Simulator, Job Simulator, other simulators that put you in first-person perspective of whatever the simulation is meant to be about, and you get to simulate that experience. Surprisingly, this game is not going to be gay simulation, because the game is about a cordyceps virus. It's about an apocalypse. It's about survival, revenge. They didn't include gay characters for simulation. And to be honest, if you think that this is accurate to what an LGBT simulator would be like, look at you. Because as a lesbian, I can tell you that if I was to make a genuine LGBT simulator, it would be uncomfy, it would feel relatively unsafe, you'd feel criticized no matter what you do just for existing. And that really annoys me.
You are playing. It is not even like, oh, we're just gonna throw it in for like 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there. Nah. Part of me.
Okay, in that same sense, in that exact same sense, every single video game that has existed, that has shown a heterosexual relationship, that has lasted the entire game, is that heterosexual agenda. This guy, he thinks that the gays got too much screen time, basically, compared to the probably hundreds and thousands of hours in games that heterosexuals get screen time, compared to the fraction that we are represented with.
Even though it was literally everywhere, everybody's talking about how this game is just filled with SJW shit. Like Anita Sarkeesian and Neil Druckmann have ruined this game because of the agendas. It's just
our fucking existence is not an agenda. Heterosexuals can exist within a game without it being labelled as an agenda. So why, when any non-heterosexual is represented within a game, it's labelled an agenda? The reason you have this opinion is because you're homophobic.
An agenda-filled game. It is not a zombie simulator. This is not a zombie.
So the game might have had more focus on the story. That's fair enough. But when you actually, like, okay, he's stating it's not a zombie simulator. If you take all of the scenes where you are in combat with the infected, you compile them together, and then you take the scenes that are focused on identity, I bet that much will be identity, and like that much will be zombies, because guess what? It's still a game about zombies. That doesn't change whether you have a gay character in there or not.
Post-apocalyptic simulator. This is, I want to put it in your butt simulator. I want to scissors with you like this simulator. That's what.
Okay. Okay. What he just did is an entire issue on its own. You see, you notice the automatic sexualization he did there? He automatically went for the... That's such a misconception, dude. That is the big... Somebody's been watching too much Pornhub.
Fuck this is, and it's disgusting. It is fucking disgusting because I paid $65 for this shit when it had nothing to do with this.
Okay, so the impression I'm getting is that he didn't actually play the game because it has everything to do with the first game. The title is clickbait. It's not a review. It's an entire 25 minutes of being homophobic. If he genuinely cared about this game series, he's saying he loved the first game. He gave it a 9 out of 10. My question to him is, does this include the DLC where Ellie kisses her best friend Riley, clearly showing homosexual feelings? Ellie has always been gay, always. So any criticism you have about her being gay now, you should have brought it up when the first game and the DLC was released.
It had everything to do with our sexuality and how we're under attack.
This is so stupid. The only time where anything to do with sexuality causing disagreements is at the beginning of the game, when Ellie talks about her hate crime experience, and then it moves into the game. It immediately goes straight into the game. God forbid they address real world problems, because as somebody who has experienced hate crime on multiple occasions, I feel represented in not only my sexuality, but in my experiences because of my sexuality. I've been through that. Me and my girlfriend have been through that. And of course, it might seem unnecessary to you, but there's a vast majority of people that played this game that probably knows the exact feeling that they went through. And it's realistic. Bigotry wouldn't just stop because of an apocalypse, just as homosexuality wouldn't just stop because of an apocalypse.
What the fuck? The narrative was pieced together so randomly that it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
See? That criticism. The narrative was pieced together so randomly that it didn't make sense. That on its own is a valid criticism. He just made it so clear that he's capable of criticizing this game beyond sexuality.
The agenda that they're pushing here is something you've never seen in gaming before, and it's disgusting.
My existence isn't an agenda. The fact that he's sitting here and calling and referring to representation that I would have died for at a young age, disgusting, is so hurtful. I didn't know it was okay to be gay until later on, like the age of what, 8? And even then, I still didn't think anything of it until I had access to the internet. I just knew I felt different, and that made me feel isolated and weird. If I'd had games like this when I was younger, I don't think I would have hated myself feeling the way I did as much as I did. So for him to sit here and call the representation we finally get disgusting simply because these characters exist, spoiler alert, they're not for you. They never were for you.
Absolutely fucking disgusting. And you know why? Because every 5 minutes, instead of talking about people and how they're surviving the zombie apocalypse, we're talking about their sexuality.
See, this is straight up lies. He's like, every 5 minutes they're talking about sexuality. No, they are genuinely not.
See this in the straight games, such as the first fucking part. They don't talk about every 5 minutes. Oh, I'm Joel. You know what bitches I got back in my day? Yo, 5 minutes like, yo, you down to fuck? Yo, we're gonna clear this area out. Pretend I'm Captain Price here for a second. We're gonna clear this area out over here, right? We're gonna go behind those oil canisters. And I'm gonna drop your pants and butt fuck you. That's how this game is in a nutshell. That is literally it. I'm not even exaggerating.
You are exaggerating. You're exaggerating so much because they never talk about how gay they are.
It is the biggest piece of shit I've ever played in my life.
We get your girlfriend at the stables, please.
The example he gives, a character jokingly teasing Ellie about her very clear interest in Dina. How is him, okay, say the roles were reversed. Say if Ellie said to Jesse, get your girlfriend to the stables, please. You wouldn't be criticizing it like this. Why is it any different when it's gay?
You rate our kiss from last night.
Why are we still talking about this? Why are we still talking about this? Why are we still talking about this?
It's clear to me that Naughty Dog...
Okay, and again he gives an example where Dina and Ellie are addressing the fact that they kissed. So say if this was Jesse and Dina and they were talking about how they kissed, or say if the story had taken Ellie and made Jesse a love interest, and if they had kissed and they were sat there talking about their kiss, this guy would not criticize it because it's straight. And notice how he only gave 2 examples, both of which occur a fair chunk after each other, which is not the same every 5 minutes that he is claiming that they do.
Has a bunch of beta males working at the studio that bow to the feet of the feminism, that bow to the feet of Anita Sarkeesian, and the...
I don't think the inclusion of gay characters is bowing to the feet of feminists. It's acknowledging that your audience doesn't just consist of heterosexual males, and indeed it is nice to finally represent a minority group that hasn't felt represented their entire life.
Not the majority, the most have been silent about this shit, but I'm pissed because when you be silent, when you're silent...
He is getting so mad over the existence of gays within this game. Have you seen? He is full on yelling. He is yelling about this. And I want to point out that reactions like this simply over gay characters existing is probably why it is such a scary experience to come out.
They're pushing it. They're literally
Gays existing within the game just not equivalent, just is not at all equal to pushing it.
really pushing it, and this is where they took it too far. The most highest budget shit I've ever seen in my life. You're gonna go and tell me to my face that this dude Abby is strong woman Abby and she's the villain slash hero slash the anti-hero and we're supposed to sympathize with this? Are you kidding?
See? Here we go. He has addressed a point which is valid. He's now looking at a point that doesn't involve on bashing gays. I wonder if he'll expand on this. I wonder if he'll expand on this without being offensive to Abby's presentation, body type, and quite frankly, I hope he doesn't make any transphobic comments about it. I wonder if he'll do that. Let's see.
Kidding me? This game revealed every company that probably took a payoff or is pushing an agenda. If you look at the Metacritic score, nobody likes this shit. Literally nobody that's a real person likes this shit.
Shit. I'm not a real person.
And you play as this brolic ass dude and Ellie. So you're playing as Ellie, and then you're playing as Abby / Abraham or whatever the fuck that's short.
Okay, this is picking at how he addresses Abby, okay? Notice how, yet again, he's not criticizing Abby based on her actions within the game. He's not actually criticizing Abby based on the fact that she killed Joel. He's picking at her physical appearance. He's taking the fact that she is a buff female and turning it into a joke about how it makes her less of a female by, calling her a brawly ass dude and Abraham. And my biggest pet peeve about this is the fact that all the characters within the game, because it's so detailed, they did I don't know what it's called, but they based the models in the game off of real people. So every single time he refers or insults the appearance of Abby, he's also hurting not only the model for this game, but thousands of other women who share the same body type as Abby. If you're gonna criticize something, don't go for the appearance and sexualities of characters. Go for their actions, behaviors, and personalities.
And every woman in this game, they bashed them in the head with the ugly stick. Literally, they flattened their tits. This is no...
Okay, so now he's saying the game is bad because he thinks all the women in it are ugly. Okay, as a lesbian, I can tell you that every single woman in this game is beautiful. I doubt this guy. I feel bad if this guy has a girlfriend because the way she must get treated must be horrific if this is how he's talking about fictional women. He's criticizing whether this game is good or not based on the fact that he thinks the characters are too flat-chested. The audacity to think that these characters are made to appeal his eyes is fucking hilarious.
Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. They flattened their tits. They made their ass flat. They made them look like a dude. They are a dude. That's literally what it is.
Hi. Happy birthday, kiddo.
What is this?
This is a thing that took a mighty effort to find.
And it's disgusting.
Okay. Given he was just talking about how he thinks that this game is bad because they flatten the chests of females, right? He then proceeds to show clips, clearly wanting to give examples of this. So tell me why he's shown a clip of Ellie, who is a developing underage girl in this scene. What's disgusting is not the fact that, surprise, not every female has big tits. What's disgusting is the fact that you just judged an underage character's developing body because you don't think her tits were big enough. I feel so grossed out right now.
Then you force this agenda upon us, and you're not even gonna try to play me to try to make it seem like you're trying to brainwash people into your little cult here, because that's literally what the fuck it is.
Gays kiss in game? Brainwashing. You know, this is the kind of guy that would criticize his own girlfriend for gaining weight on birth control, I'm just saying.
Homophobic, incest, transphobic males. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Where did he pull incest from?
Oh my god, they're so Neanderthalic. Oh my god. Shut the fuck up. This is absolutely disgusting. I did not pay for this shit. I paid for a fucking zombie apocalyptic type of game.
And you got a zombie apocalypse game. You just seem to be completely focused on the gay relationships of the game to even bother talking about the apocalyptic side of the game, but okay.
Review. After I was playing as the heartwarming Abby, and I finally decided to correlate with her and Lev and where they were coming from as a member of the Scars, who weren't even really the best of side characters. If you really think about it in terms of NPCs, what did we really get from this game? The game.
That's a fair criticism. Spend the review talking about how you feel like the Scars could have been developed as NPCs.
And Neil Druckmann ruined this game. This was probably the franchise killer. I'm not buying The Last of Us 3. I'm going to, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not supporting anything.
Hello, welcome to Big Boy throws a tantrum, and I assume he's going to destroy the game disc because gays exist. And they call us snowflakes.
From this fucking brand ever again. Naughty Dog, you have failed me, bro. You have fucking failed me. I should have seen this coming because I played The Last of Us 1's DLC, and I said this over and over again. I never liked that
See? Now he's addressing the DLC. Let's see what he has to say on the DLC.
ending in that first game. People were saying it's a 10 out of 10 ending. No, it's not. It just showed that they didn't know how to write. And then the DLC, you should have seen this coming. I should have seen this coming for myself as well. They were pushing the agenda hard in that DLC.
They were pushing the agenda hard. Do you know why they were pushing the agenda hard? Because of one shared kiss between two female characters. The fact that he has ads on this makes me really sad. He's getting paid to shit on my community.
Trying to make us sympathetic with her. And then we get to the very end. They even made Ellie more masculine and looking. They shoehorned the trans agenda, the gay agenda, the bisexual agenda, the gay parenting agenda.
This dude can't be real. This dude cannot be real. Dina was pregnant with a dead man's child, and she's in a committed relationship with Ellie. Are they just not going to cope? Are they just not going to parent this child? What kind of... How is that an agenda?
Parenting agenda. They had a child as a lesbo couple. Then they...
Okay, first of all, do not address it as a lesbo couple.
Then they gave up on the whole idea of hunting for Joel after they ruined everything already. With all the melodrama, it was like so much indecisiveness, so much vagina indecisiveness. Literally.
I want that printed on a t-shirt. Can I please get vagina indecisiveness printed on a t-shirt, for the love of God?
But we're gonna do all this butt fucking and scissoring because that's...
I don't know where he's getting the butt fucking from, because there are no male gay relationships within the game. The only butt fucking in the game is from a straight relationship. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest. The constant motions and reference to scissoring is so gross, and that's coming from a lesbian. I want to tell you, dude, if he probably will never watch this, but I want to tell you that that's the most disgusting thing ever, especially given that
no sense whatsoever, because at the very end of the game, Ellie finally finds Abe/Abraham, Abby, whatever the fuck you want to call him, beats the crap out
Abby, that's her canon name within the game, use it.
of this dude. While he beats the crap out of him after releasing him from a fucking prison, she bites
this guy is pronouns everywhere. They're two women fighting at the end. Why is this so hard for him to accept that female characters exist? Jesus Christ.
off Ellie's fingers, and even in this scene, they made Ellie look more masculine. She has like these.
And what relevance is that to anything?
I got 80% through this game, and then I had to watch the last hour on YouTube because I was like, I can't do it. I'm literally sick to my stomach, and I don't care who that offends. I don't care. I really don't care. It was disgusting. Literally, you had me running in the rain for like an hour or two, trying to find the aquarium as this tranny to find his gay lover.
You played as a woman with muscles trying to find her lover. See, even you've been given a straight relationship within this game, and you yourself have turned it gay.
Because for this year, this is kind of off topic, but it still fits the narrative of what they're trying to push here in the mainstream. Birds of gay, even the movie Onward from Pixar, they were pushing the SJW agenda. SpongeBob this month came out.
I'm gonna go feral. This dude just referenced Onwards, right? Which is a Disney Pixar, I can't remember, film about trolls. Me and my girlfriend went to watch this film in cinema. And I'd heard that there was representation within the film. You know what that representation was? Like a 5-minute, not even 5 minute, less than 5 minute scene where a Cyclops officer says one sentence which refers to her girlfriend's kid. How is that pushing an SJW agenda?
Like, why is this touching kid content? Why is this even touching kid content at all?
Because there is nothing inherently sexual about being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. It's touching kids' content because it's love. You should teach kids about love and acceptance. You should teach kids about the people they're going to encounter within the world. I'd much rather have kids grow up seeing, you know, two females kiss, two males kiss, somebody coming to terms with their gender identity, than sit here and watch somebody like you spread hate and teach them hate. Also, this dude is making a point about it being in kids' content when this game isn't 18. Just because this game has kids in it doesn't mean it's kids' content.
At all. You're telling me that kids aren't going to be affected in some way, shape, or form by this?
You know how they're going to be affected? You know how they're going to be affected? They're gonna see that the healthy gay relationships, they're gonna see two people loving each other. As a lesbian, I said this right at the beginning, but if I was given representation when I was younger, I wouldn't have been as sad. I wouldn't have felt as uncomfortable with feelings that I felt. I wanted to kiss girls. I knew when I was younger I wanted to kiss girls, but that scared me because I wasn't taught that that was okay. Not including this stuff in kids' media is damaging to the mental health of gay kids. Whereas if I sat down and say, watched She-Ra as a kid, if I had She-Ra when I was a kid and saw Catra and Adora share a kiss, I might have felt okay with the fact that I wanted to kiss girls. I don't know why you're so against love being shown to kids, but totally think sitting here and hating on minority communities for something they can't control is going to be okay. You're the one that would bully gay kids. you would affect them.
In here and tell me that bullshit. If you've taken a basic psychology course, you know that the human mind, especially in a child, is at its most vulnerable when it's ages 4 to 6.
Okay, and what does that have to do with gay? You're acting like gay is some kind of disease that will infect a child or will traumatize them.
And you're telling me this isn't going to mess with it in some way, shape, or form? If they push this into a child's game, even though this is a game for adults, but we're playing as a kid in this game, if they push this into a child's game, what's going to happen to the future society and the youth?
They will understand that if they feel love for the same gender and opposite gender, that it's okay. They won't have to feel disgusted in themselves. They won't feel the need to hide themselves. There will be less hate crimes. Kids will be bullied less. You know how this will affect the future of the youths? There will be less teen suicides due to how disgusted they feel about their own sexuality because of people like you.
This is where the agenda is going to ruin society as we know it, and it's
ruin society. How is teaching tolerance and love and healthy relationships ruining society? You know what is ruining society? You spreading hate, because that leads to violence, that leads to hate crimes, that leads to suicides, that leads to deep depressions because of sexuality.
It's getting sickening, and nobody's speaking up about it because we're the silent majority, and the vocal minority is getting their way, and it's getting disgusting. We need to cancel this shit. Cancel culture on this shit. Because if this ends up in games like God of War, God forbid, one of the most unpolitically correct games I've ever played, the PS4
Nothing to do with sexuality, is about politics.
game was one of the greatest games I ever played in my life. God forbid they touch this with God of War. I will be done with gaming forever if that happens. I'm literally out.
This dude is willing to give up gaming forever simply because gays will exist within the game. Okay, Snowflake.
Relationship ended with her. Abby's relationship, she's off on a boat with the lesbo. I don't know if that's gonna be, or the other tranny, and I don't know if that's.
This dude be dropping lesbo in the Tesla.
Tommy's relationship ended with her.
Abby is off on a boat with Lev. That's all you needed to say.
I don't give a shit. This is my honest point of view, and
your point of view is rooted in hatred. And I hope you work on that hatred, man. You're a bitter, angry, quite frankly, scarily aggressive individual. Games like this make me feel safe. Make me feel seen, make me feel represented. People like you that get so angry about my existence terrify me. You're terrifying. If this is how mad you get about them simply being in a game, I don't want to think how you treat them in real life. God forbid any of your friends or family come out. I don't think any of your friends and family would want to come out to you.
I feel like I got robbed, and I need a therapy session after this. It's $60 to $70. I want my refund, Sony. I want my refund for a therapy session, because this was traumatic, and I don't really give a shit. You're not indoctrinating.
Mans be like, oh, I need a therapy session after this. This is traumatic, after acting like the kind of people that genuinely give gay people trauma.
This is going to happen in other games. Why is it that this perversion hits kid content? Because that's literally perverted.
Being gay isn't perverted. Being gay isn't inherently sexual, just like being straight isn't inherently sexual. Straights that have picnics and get married and romantic dinner dates, that's the same for gays. Gays have that too. Gays aren't all about sex.
This was made for the consumer. This new sequel was not. And you just literally pulled 180. You didn't really try to embrace it in the trailers. You tried to hide it.
The trailers literally have Ellie kissing Dina. The release, one of the first teaser trailers of this game was of the dance and Ellie kissing Dina.
Get it the fuck out of here. This is the worst game of my life. 0 out of 10. Alright guys, make sure you guys go check out my t-shirts. Toxic Masculinity.
He genuinely has a t-shirt line called Toxic Masculinity. See, I was totally hoping he'd say funny stuff that would make me laugh. So that I could laugh through how pissed off it made me, but he just said stuff that pissed me off. So, like, motto of the day, don't be a homophobic arsehole.